This one was submitted by, hold on for 1 second, the name. Lisa, I'm going to take a stab at your name. I hope that's okay. Lisa Gauthier-Demaline. That sounds very French, so I had to go French with it. Sorry if I butchered that, but thank you very much for submitting. She submitted through the Facebook page. She left a link to her Flickr URL. Thank you for that. Just to let you know, you head on over to the sharpgoat.com website and then click on SGPhoto. Right there's a handy gallery that it makes my job easier. So it's less for you, it's more for me. So if you could use the form so that all my emails get sorted, so that at the end of the week I can see everybody's submissions. I can click on them and load them up very quickly, and also because I can also get additional comments about your gallery, about any kind of extra notes that you want to add. But that would be fantastic if you could do that. Maybe I should include in the form that I do not give out emails. This will not sign you up for a newsletter or anything like that. I don't even have a newsletter yet, so you don't have to worry about your email falling into the wrong hands. So let's check out your shots over here, and I'm moving on to the scotch now. So this is dessert. All right, load it up. Cake topper detail. Oh my god, I like this. And I said that kind of surprisingly, but it took me for a second, and my brain just kind of went, "Yes, you do like this." Because if this was a portrait of people, let's say a wedding shot, this would be a great shot. The bouquet in focus, them out of focus here, and them covered by the carousel, parasol. Them covered by the parasol here, it would have been a really nice shot. So this being a couple of cake toppers here, it makes for a good shot. I like this. What are you shooting with? 60D. Hey, me too. 43. What lens you got? 18-55, 3.5, 5.6. Okay, so you're shooting with a stock lens. Dig it. Which also goes to show it's not the lens that you're shooting with. You can still take a great shot with a stock lens. There's absolutely nothing wrong with a stock lens. I've seen amazing things. I shot with a stock lens for a good long while, and I got amazing shots. So I hear. But this just goes to show as well that you can take a great shot with a stock lens. Nothing wrong with that. So don't be deterred by, I don't have a really good lens. Screw that. What lens do you have? Throw that on your camera. Get on out there and shoot. Because that's great. I like how that's in focus here. It's well framed here, and it's against white. I like it. I really do. And this is at f5 at 43 mil. That's good depth of field for that. I like that very much. What else you got? You like cake toppers, okay? But I will say, who was it? Jason, who submitted a few shots before. In another in Jason's critique, I mentioned that he took a shot of a certain composition one way, and he submitted a different shot just at a different setting. So I like how this is the same subject here, but a different angle, different composition. I like that very much. Thank you very much for doing that, Lisa. I appreciate it. This one here, so this one's at 50. Ooh, 3 points. So still the same lens, probably. That fast shutter speed. I think you're probably erring on. I'm not sure if you're shooting manual. Does it tell me if you're shooting manual? Manual. Okay, so yes, you are. Okay, I think you look like you're saving the exposure. It looks like it's a little bit under because you have black and white, so it is kind of challenging to get a proper exposure when you're dealing with black and white. But you risk either losing the blacks or losing the whites. I think it could be upped a little bit more because it is a little bit dark. It is a little bit dismal. I think if you pop it up just a bit more, because you'll start to lose the white of her dress first. So not too much, just a little bit, so we can get a little bit more info, a little bit more detail on the groom here. And you've got it restricted to like you're just barely fitting them in. So it's like the bottom of frame is right at the heel of his shoe, and the top of frame is right at the top of the parasol. I like if that's what you're going for. It might do to have just a little bit more room, a little bit more room at the bottom and top, just a bit for enough for the subjects to breathe a little bit, so it doesn't look like they're boxed in so much, unless that's what you were going for. But that's what I would have done. But good. I like how it's a different shot of the same subject. I like getting the assortment here. Interesting. This instantly reminds me of the rings that act as like a restraint in Superman. So like, you know, that the things that are spinning around Zod and his minions, his lackeys. Yeah, that's what it reminds me of. Either that or a slinky. I'm not sure what else. But what are we shooting at here? This, you've got a 50mm 1.8. That is fantastic. That seems to be the theme. Everybody's got a 50mm 1.8 except me. That is great, though. By the way, the reason I don't shoot with a 50mm, the reason why I don't have a 50mm 1.8 is I have a difficult time justifying it, even though I would have tons of fun with a 51.8 or 1.4. But I shoot with a 17 to 50 2.8. That's my go-to lens. Either that or I rent other ones. But I figure I go to 50. I have 2.8. That's enough for me right now. So it's tough for me to justify getting a 50mm. But then again, it's like $100. So I know I'm ridiculous. But back to this photo here. Okay, it's very simple. It's rather abstract. I'm not quite sure what it is I'm looking at, but that's okay. But there really isn't much. There's really not much else to it. Actually, you know what? I'm sorry. This is one where you probably could have, in my opinion, you probably could have saved on the iris a little bit, pulled it back. So instead of opening right up to 1.8, which is I think is what you did, pulling back so we get more, actually more, just a bit more, if not a lot more, of these rings in focus. Just because it's at 1.8, it is very, very shallow depth of field, so you do start losing like everything as it's going around here. It looks nice, but I think I would have pulled back a little bit. So actually, I would have probably shot at 2.8 or f4 to make the rest of these rings not so blown out. But that's just what I would have done. Moving on. This is 1.8 again, isn't it? Yes, it is. Again, I'm not sure what I'm looking at here, and it almost looks like you're just going to isolate this ball here, but it looks like the focus is over here. I'm not quite sure what we're looking at, so which is an issue. It's, you know, if it was meant to be abstract, then that's, if any shots are ever meant to be abstract, and I'm giving feedback as in, well, I don't know what I'm looking at. Okay, well, you can ignore that. But in my mind, though, I'm looking at this and I'm wondering, okay, what am I supposed to be? What am I looking at? It's, you know, they're nice shapes. There's a little bit of color going on here, but it's my brain isn't getting anything from it. This is a case where I would have saved on the aperture again. I would have closed it up a bit more. I think that you could save on the shutter speed. You're at 1/640, so you could slow that down. So you could close that f-stop up a few more stops. And that's probably what I would have done, depending on what it is that I'm looking at. It says pink pearls, but I don't know. It, maybe you did right by blowing the whole thing out. I'm just wondering what else is there. And moving on. 50mm and Lego. That is this week's theme. Cool. I like that you're using Lego. I like that you're posing with it. Or you're positioning it, rather. This one is probably, again, 1.8A. No, this is 5.6. Beautiful. Okay, you're back to the stock lens, I think. Cool. Okay. Yeah, it's a nice shot of the Lego person. You know, the bike in the back is nice and out of focus, so we're drawn to the Lego person here. It's a good simple shot of Lego lady, Lego woman here, and her bike. Yeah. There's nothing. Like I said, there's nothing. Just because if I'm saying there's not much to it, it doesn't mean there's anything wrong. It's, you know, if it's simple, then there's nothing flawed with it. There's nothing I can really say one way or another. It's a shot of a Lego person in front of a bike, and it looks like it's, the focus is nice and sharp on the Lego person's face. The focus is where it should be. It's properly exposed. It's technically a good photo. There's not much else that it's doing for me though. But it's a nice shot. That's all I got. So that is all from Lisa. Thank you very much, Lisa, for jumping in as well. Lisa is a new contender in the challenge, and I welcome her to the Sharp Goat Photo Challenge. And I would love to see some more shots from you as well in the coming weeks. So please jump onto the Sharp Goat Photo Facebook page. Look for the gallery of this week's images. Comment on all the other photos that were submitted, and we'll see you next time.